Season 1 tier list Gekishin Squadra. Yeah, I am ready for this, man. I've actually been super excited to make this because my God, the changes I'm gonna make to this compared to what I made before 2 weeks ago in season 0, before the release of Super Saiyan 3 Goku. All right, just remember that. Now Goku is out. We got to see a little bit of what he can do. And now here comes the tier list yet again. All right, let's go. Let's get it, baby. We're gonna start with Hit. Hit, from the first tier list that I made, I gave him the benefit of the doubt and put him in like high A. If I'm being completely honest, that was before I even used him. That was mostly off of going against and laning against the Hit. It was not pleasant, very unpleasant, right? I will say this right now. I use Hit. I love using Hit. I backdoor a lot. That's really just it. I really backdoor a lot with him. Hit can do damage too. I go with Snowball. I go with Steel Skin, I think. And then I go with Backstab, right? So Hit, I'm gonna put Hit in ass. I'm just gonna downright put Hit in ass. If I'm being completely honest, I'm gonna put him at S. I think that's the perfect spot. He went up one tier compared to last time. I think this man, a very good Hit, is not easy to handle. You're not ever really gonna catch this man. You need to play pretty much defensively. It's like you see Hit, you have to kill if he's in range. If you can't get to him, don't even worry about it, bro. Go back to farming. Just let the man do his thing. But he will be back to that tower. Just know that. All right? So Hit, you got to be aware of. Well, you know they have Hit on the team, just having your mind like, all right, we're going to take farm. We're not going to steer too far away from tower just because of this man. We just snatch it. Especially if it's the sparkly Stardust, whatever effect that you get for the match, where you keep getting your cooldown reset. That is when Hit is at its scariest. That and them damn clouds. So I'm putting Hit in S tier. Simple as that. Hit, he moved up 1 tier from last time. I had him A. I had him here last time. It was like the top of A. Now I'm put him in S. Simple as that. All right. Boom. Yeah. I think he's one of the best support in the game. Next, Frieza. So we all know. Last time when I did this, or if you don't know, I'm sorry, I put Frieza there, right? We all know I put him there. I only tried him out, I guess, during the second beta. The only real issue I thought I saw with him was just backdooring, same as Hit, except that Hit can actually break tower and stuff effectively. You know, with Frieza, unfortunately with Zarbon Dodoria, they have high cooldowns. You don't want to do that unless it's Stardust, Sparkly, whatever that objective is, where you get your cooldown back. Really the only time I guess you can effectively backdoor with Frieza. However, I can comfortably put him at, I want to say, at the top of A. At the top of A. Without even putting any other character on the list. For now, I'm putting him at the top of A. Hit, not at the top of S, but he's an S. But yeah, Frieza, I will put at the top of A. I do not think he's the worst support in the game. And I feel like all the support and the one at the bottom, I feel like there's a big gap, if I'm being honest. Frieza can secure objective. He can still farm while healing that tower. He can still farm while farming another area. Like, you set up Zarbon somewhere in the bush, take the farm in the middle, you go off and do something else, whether you be taking 16 or you be taking the Kais or go to Cell Jr. if you have that mission or objective. That match. It's so much you can do. It's so much you can do. Obviously, the best pill in the game, right? Dodoria, obviously nice to keep away. Play defense at tower, right? If you feel like you want to play a little more defensive style with Frieza, obviously just set up Zarbon Dodoria at tower, so that way they can't really consistently or effectively punish the tower or attack the tower with getting knocked back all the time. Like, Frieza can definitely do a lot. With this ult being able to steal objectives as well, just got to time it right. There's a charge to it. You got to be careful with that. Overall, I think Frieza's really good. Really, really good. Honestly, I can make an argument for him to be an S, but for now, at the top of A. At the top of A is where I'm gonna put him. That is a big difference from last time where I had him bottom of B and now he's at the top of A. Look at that globe. Oh, he did get buffed too. He also did get buffed since the previous tier list I made. So all the difference, probably all the difference. We have Majin Buu. Where did I, hold on, wait. Okay. Next, Majin Buu. Last time I had you in A tier, right? I do think the Buu Gum is the best ability he has. His peel, not really as great, right? Unless you max it out, but that is something you do not want to prioritize, if I'm being completely honest. Healing Beam, yeah, it's good, but like, you really have to, because I didn't mention before, I don't think he's a support you will want to solo queue with, because, I mean, you probably can. Maybe it's the exact opposite of what I'm about to say, but I just feel like he relies on the DPS a bit more to do damage effectively, right? You can boo gum, slow them down, whatever, right? His ult still isn't the greatest personally, because for one, I think it's easy to miss. Early on, super easy to miss. Later on, still can be easy to miss, right? Because everyone is fast, dashing all over the place. But overall, Boo, I think he's okay. I do think he needs a buff. So I'm going to put Boo, B for Boo. I think he's the worst support in the game, easily, right? I think he's easily the worst support in the game. Last time I hit him towards like the bottom of A-ish, but I think this is a fair placement for him because, for one, I don't see any play of him the higher I go up. Second, I don't think you need to really fear Boo at all. 3, just compared to everyone else, he's not that great. He's just not that great, you know? And I was a heavy Boo advocate in the first 2 betas. It's just everyone else I feel is just so much better than him. So, Entry 17. I had this man in S tier before, right? I had him up here with one other person. We'll get to that later. 17. I've always regarded 17 top 2 support in the game. Even the first impressions tier list, season 0, which was, as you can see, done exactly 2 weeks ago, 14 days ago, right? See, this was previous placement. I had him top 2, top of S. So this time around, honestly, my opinion of 17 didn't change much. The only thing that has changed much with me in 17 is the fact that I could argue he could be the best support in the game. That is the only argument I can make now. Before, I comfortably put him at number 2 spot. Number 2 spot behind Gohan. And with playing against him countless of times, I can argue he could have that number 1 support spot. He could for sure have it. He could for sure have it. Man, it's just way too good. Like, his ult cancels, but his ult gets rid of buffs, right? So it cancels Kale's ult immediately. It gives your team a shield. You obviously have a natural shield with one of your other cooldowns. It's hard to kill 17, basically, is what I'm saying, right? Like, I have a damage builder. The only thing that 17 doesn't have is damage. And you can nullify that with the divine cards. Give that man Blue Snowball. Give that man Giant Slayer. Give that man Pursuer or the other one. 17 is actually insane. Argue one of the best in the game. Just overall, one of the best in the game. 17 is insane. Right now, 17 I'm putting at the top of S. Hit, probably like mid, bottom of S, but S nonetheless. I do have him in order in the actual tiers, by the way, right? So, right now, 17 is at the top of S. Krillin. When the game released, right, I knew he was gonna get nerfed. Felt like he was also overtuned in the beta, just like Zamasu. And when the game came out, as I've said, I still thought of him as an issue because a lot of people play Krillin in early ranks. Krillin is still a little, I don't see much usage of him in higher ranks, right? I do think he's still good. I do think he still can be utilized on certain team comps, certain situations, right? Like, I think he pairs well with a great deal of like DPS. Kale. I mean, he can play an aggressive comp with like Trunks. I think he works well with a lot of DPS in the game. The only one I can probably argue he doesn't. He seems like he can work well with everybody. Like, I wouldn't really use Deborah and Krillin because first off, Deborah I would have him in bot lane with a tank. But I do think Krillin overall is good even after the nerf. However, I don't think he, this time around, I would put him behind Frieza for sure. I'll put him behind Frieza. He's annoying, but I would probably rather face a Krillin than any of the other 3 I have above him, to be honest. Like, he's still good. Obviously, right? He can take objectives, he can do damage, he can hinder your vision, which is mad annoying, by the way. Like, I crash out when I can't see. He just stopped everything that I'm doing, low key. So I will put him somewhere in 8. I don't know exactly where, bottom, mid, Before I hit him at the top of A. I hit him actually above, I hit him above hit in the previous tier list. So this time around, after, like I said, leveling up, ranking up more, getting more experience with these damn heroes. Yeah, that's season 1, Krillin, you go in there. Like a middle of A or something like that. Boom. That's where you're gonna be. Gohan. Gohan. The placement I had for Gohan for the last tier, S tier, above 17, #1 support in the game. There was no argument during that time for me flipping 17 to Gohan. I just straight said Gohan and then 17, then everybody else. That's legit what I've said. This time around, I can actually make the argument of 17 being better or Gohan being better, right? Gohan, obviously more offensive oriented support, has really good peel. Better than Boo, better than Krillin, better than 17. Not as good as Hit. Not as good as Frieza, obviously. He's made to run. He's a rat, right? Rat in the pod. Gohan, offensive support, is actually kind of crazy, by the way. Just being near him, you buffing their defenses and all attack, I think. He buffs a lot, by the way. Masako, really good skill. My favorite is definitely his stun kick because I do use Gohan a lot. No, Hit, you're going back there. I will say this. I feel like you can make an argument for either or being the top support, like #1 support. I don't know. Does that look right? Yeah, because I feel, okay, so only the top 2 I feel are interchangeable. I think that's fair. I still think Gohan, obviously top 3 support in the game. Really amazing unit. I love Gohan now. I use him a lot more now. Actually, funny enough, I use the top 3. No, I'm not like a meta whore is what they call it, right? Using the best characters of each role, blah, blah, blah. No, I don't do that. I use who I feel is comfortable to me, right? And they feel comfortable to me. But regardless, it's a competitive game. Use whoever the hell you want, right? Who am I, right? So that's what I feel. I feel like the top 2 are interchangeable, but I do feel 17 may have a slight edge, maybe. I do think Boo needs to get buffed, and I don't want to say 17 needs to get nerfed, but I wouldn't be surprised if he somehow did, you know? I legit would not be surprised. There. I think that's a fair placement for all the support. That is what I have support. That is what I have for support. I don't think it's bad at all. Tanks. This is gonna be a little tricky. I'm not gonna lie. This is gonna be a little tricky for me to do. Baby. I've seen some crazy babies in bot lane. I've seen some that threw. Seen some very bad ones, very poor ones. I don't know where I'm gonna put baby if I'm being completely honest. Right? When I had it in my mind that I was gonna make this season 1 tier list, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put him at bottom 3. Now I'm not sure anymore. I've seen what he can do. I've seen he can definitely, the biggest downside obviously to him, he can't really lane by himself, right? You don't get the full effect of baby, you know, you don't, right? So I will put him in A. I'll put him in A. I don't know where exactly. I'll put him in A, maybe middle of A, top of A, maybe. I'm not exactly sure, but for now, I'll just keep him there. I may switch a rule, move around some other heroes, but I will say this. Yeah, I'll keep baby in A. I'll keep baby in A for now. Zamasu. Initially, going into this tier list, season 1, I told myself, bottom of worst tanks. Yeah, they did nerf him. He can still be utilized, though. He can still be utilized. He's actually pretty good at taking farm. He has peel. They nerfed this regen, thank God. And like I said, he's still very much usable. Still very much usable. But he's also another confusing one because I don't know where the hell to place this man. Because if I go with the mindset of comparing him to other tanks, it's like, I want to put him in A as well. Right? So something like this. I don't think that's bad. Do I think they're interchangeable? It's tough. It's tough. I would probably still give baby the slight advantage, maybe. Give or take, right? Those two, for me, is as hard as probably like Hit and Gohan. Like, that's how I feel about him. Because he's still good. He's just not broken. But obviously, you put any of these heroes in the hands of an SS specialist, you're going to get destroyed no matter what. Just because they're just good at the game. It'll be just overall the character. But skill issue, that's when that comes into play. Cell. Okay, Cell. I am somewhat still biased to this man. I was completely biased before Season 0 tier list, the one I made before. 2 weeks ago. I had him top 3 tanks in the game. I had him in S, right? I don't think I shuffled him around much. Yeah, I had him at top, somewhere in S rank, right? I think it was higher than this before, but I think I moved it over after stream. But regardless, do I think he's top 3 tanks in the game? It's hard. It gets harder and harder every day. It gets harder and harder every day. Perfection, perfect form, very, very scary. Getting to that form, not really an issue at all. As in, nobody fears early game Cell. Just when he transforms, he becomes an issue. It's hard to escape that, man. He gets you in his clutches. It's rare that you're ever getting away with him grabbing onto you in a combination of Big Bang Crash. In real though, that everyone has access to, voice crack. I do think he's still good. If you can rush perfection, he will be very, very scary. I'll probably keep him there for now. I'll keep him straight smacked out bottom of S. I may move him. I may not. I don't know. Cell is very hard. Obviously, I feel like he has the worst skill in the game, which is regeneration is not very great. You can easily get bursted down if you... So, if you use regeneration when you have 50% or more HP, you're not going to get my HP back, right? If you're in a 1v1 situation, that's probably the only time you can use regeneration, right? Especially if the character doesn't have much burst damage. Now, if you're trying to like 1v2, you'll be lucky if you don't die through your regeneration. Especially if you use it too low. Now, if you lose it, lose it. If you use it at too high of HP, like I said, you're not going to get much value from it. You're not going to get much back. Whatever you get back, they're going to take down anyway because you're getting jumped. So I do think regeneration is the worst skill in the game, and I do not level it up until I superstar. I max out the other 2 skills. His ult, double-edged sword, but also it can be really good, really bad. Literally double-edged sword. I do still like his ult though. It can single somebody out, protect your team when needed. Also on the side of having real though, universal for tanks. For now, I keep him at bottom of. Bottom of, no, I'll keep him here for now. For now. Cooler. Honestly, nothing has changed. My opinion of Cooler has not changed. You're staying #1 in the game right now. Right now. Until I get through the tier list. Cooler's not moving out of Z. I don't think we have to say much for Cooler. Overtuned. Slows. Another slow. And he just doesn't die. But no, he's just very, very strong overall. I don't think there's any downside to Cooler at all. Like when you get into trouble, supernova yourself, transform right after, get some HP, get some spacing, and then even if they stay around you, regardless, they get slowed. Also, you have the usage of real though. So everything Cooler does is annoying. Even early game first hit, don't give that man superstar. Oof. Khalifa. My opinion, placement has not changed with this tank at all, right? The first tier list I made, Season 0, first impressions was what it really was. It was like this, right? Right now in this tier list, I'm gonna put her right there. She's not moving out of S. I 100% think she's the undeniable #2 tank. You could argue Cell is better, right? So maybe his perfect form Cell is annoying. For now, I'll do this. I'll put him at the bottom of S. So my top 3 tanks hasn't changed, by the way. Has not changed. And literally the same down placement, which is kind of cool. Oh, I'm moving Khalifa up. Go on down. I got it to be something like that, right? Cell, Frieza, usefulness in their role, borderline. Top of it. Cell is like borderline A, Frieza is like borderline S. Either or, right? Because Cell is a menace, scary, all the above. Khalifa, I actually started using her this time, and my God, her ability to peel. She gives provoke as well. Dude, Khalifa is so damn good. Oh, I do feel very comfortable in Khalifa. And my favorite part about her is actually her ult. You can peel with that as well. It sounds like a waste of a cooldown, but her movement speed when during the ult, it's kind of crazy, bro. How she just be moonwalking like Michael Jackson with the ult just blasting? I've used that to peel and do damage at the same time. I literally use that to disengage. It's so good. I don't know as far as damage, but into like max level, but it's a real good peel as well. I'm not to say use it every single time you want to peel out of a fight. No, you have E for that. Sorry, mouse keyboard. You have your skill 3 for that. Yeah, skill 3 for that. When you max that out, big barrier. So good. She is pretty much like the more tame version of Cooler, I want to say. Except she doesn't, I don't think she applies slow. She just applies provoke. In which I think you do more damage when they're provoked and they force to target you or something like that. I don't, I'm stupid. I can't think of the actual description of it. But I do think Khalifa is number 2. Easily? I'm not sure. And now, this where things get really hard for me. Probably the hardest for me to decide. More so than more so than Gohan and Hit. More so than Zamasu and Baby. Vegeta. I do not know where to place this man. Do I put him over Zamasu? Yes. Easily, in fact. Do I put him over Baby? Yes. Do I put him over Cell? This has always been the hardest thing for me to do in the tier list. I've had trouble with the last time. Oh no, last time I had like an indefinite answer. I was completely biased towards Cell versus Vegeta. But if I'm being honest, it is so tough. I legit do not know. I may start moving these characters around when I add DPS on there, but as far as the tank, going back to what I said before, dude, I don't think there's any bad tank compared to like support. Maybe I need another damn, nah, cause I feel like it'd be easier if I had another bracket, to be honest. Cause first off, I do not want to put Vegeta in the same tier with any of these heathens. Like I said, Frieza's borderline S anyway. I feel like they probably can be interchangeable. Team count matters with all the heroes in this game regardless, but overall factoring in just everything, all criteria, Vegeta doesn't really die, really. He gets so much freaking armor, literally. Big Bang, Explosive Wave, and has Ki Blast. I don't know. They either both go in S or they either both go in A. For now, I'll do that, probably. Freaking tough. I'll do that, actually. I'll keep Vegeta and Cell always next to each other. Cell does have damage. The difference between Cell and Vegeta has enormous amounts of armor, right? Good at stealing farm. Doesn't have much damage. I think Cell has more damage, right? I don't know. Both tanks are annoying to deal with in their own way, shape, or form. If I'm playing Kale, in my perspective, I'm obviously staying at a distance from Vegeta's gonna photon bomber me. I obviously try to poke Vegeta. Obviously, I try to poke Cell as well. Cell is an easier time of getting in. No, Vegeta does. I don't know. I feel like it's interchangeable. It's hard. It's very, very hard. I can't like separate them. I'm keeping them by each other because I don't know. It's very hard for me to decide. I've had trouble with both in numerous of times. Dabur. Before I had Dabur in S rank, the bottom of S. Felt like he was oppressive with the petrification. Obviously now ranking up even more, it's easier to handle it. Just vanish out of it, you know? It resets the gauge. However, when you have an aggressive comp, Cooler Dabur, Vegeta Dabur, it gets a little bit harder on engaging on farm, right? It gets a little annoying. Get a little too close, he's gonna photon bomber you in. Cooler obviously has the field to slow you down and stop you from getting away. Then Dabur can do his little, thing. But Dabur is one of those annoying champion heroes to fight against, kind of like Krillin, I guess, right? It's like Krillin forces you to keep a distance, otherwise you're gonna run into his giant ball. Pause, by the way. Dabur, you're kind of forced to keep your distance, otherwise you're gonna turn into Medusa. Or you're gonna get Medusa and you're gonna respawn back at tower, respawn back at base. DeBoer, I think he's a very comfortable A pick. I think he's a very comfortable A pick. He can be an issue. Certain team comps, certain players, obviously experts. I'm talking about one tricks. One tricks can make any character look like the best in the game. But I think DeBoer is a comfortable A. Comfortable A for sure. All right? Because I play DPS, but I only play range DPS. He doesn't give that much trouble to me because I keep my distance. I have to. So unless you're playing an aggressive, if you're playing people like Trunks or Goku, it gets a little annoying going in. Obviously, you do outburst him. Obviously, you do have more peel than him. It becomes an issue. Sure, yeah, when you actually have to engage and fight him melee. But if you're ranged, not that much of a problem. So DeBoer, I feel was a comfortable A. I regarded him as what, top 3 DPS in the game the last time I did this? I think it was Goku, Kale, and then DeBoer was my top 3 DPS last time. I'll put DeBoer in A. Like I said, you can flash out of his petrification, resets the gauge, should be good. Plus the mixture of supporter, the other skills that may have peel, etc. Bojack. I've used Bojack myself. My opinion on Bojack hasn't really changed that much, if I'm being honest. I do think he can be utilized. I think early game, he's not that great. Late game, he's good. Yeah, but I don't think he's that crazy. Like, if I had to choose a ranged DPS, I would choose everyone else but him. But there's a way, obviously, to make him work. Early game, I don't think he has much value, right? So, top of B is where I'm going to put him. I think that's literally the same placement I had last time. He got knocked up one. He got knocked up once. So, I don't know. I just don't see any true value of Bojack. I've used them, right? Both little bombs, explode bombs with skill 1. And then the skill 3 is the field of Zanya. That's her name, right? Zanya, Bushin, the other guy. I think you stay in it over time, you get slowed. And I think it does dot as well. Like, he has some ways of getting off damage. He does outrange everybody in the game, give or take. I don't think he has any real peel, but damage also isn't up to standard compared to other ranged champions. Not melee. Melee just blow you up. I think top of B is her, because he can still be used, niche reasons probably, but I don't think he's overall that great. I've never had trouble with the Bojack once. Kale. My placement on Kale is not changing. As far as being the top 3 DPS in the game, that might change, yes. That might change. I use Kale. She's on main DPS. I'm only B2 right now with her. And I will comfortably say this. Her burst damage, she probably has some of the best damage in the game. Unfortunately, that's all she has. You know? That damage is ludicrous. Don't get it twisted. I think that damage is absolutely ludicrous. But obviously her downside, she has no peel. A little more dependent on her support and or tank. I would rather lane her with the tank than the support. Unless it's somebody like Krillin, maybe 17, Gohan, right? But yeah, her, because I built still skin with her as well. She's kind of fragile, very low defenses overall. Obviously really good at taking objectives, really good at just destroying, bro. Very biased towards kill, but obviously the biggest downside, no peel. You get a DPS, dives in, you're in a crappy situation unless you're expecting. Unless you're expecting somebody to dive on you, that it becomes an issue. You can't exactly expect diving out of a bush. Like, you can't really avoid that unless you're expecting it, but even then, you're just gonna be paranoid, right? I mean, you can check bushes, be like League, but her cooldowns ain't exactly the lowest. I mean, unless she used that horrible beam that I don't like. But even then, like I said, she can get blown up. Her defense is way too damn low. Her only survival factor, her only true survival skill, something to keep her alive is, I legit only really ult if I'm being dove. That is the only way I can survive, you know, I feel. Without her getting blown up. I'm talking about Trunks coming in with a sword, slice, treating me like I'm 17, or treat me like I'm Mecha Frieza. Goku diving in, blowing me up. Kale staying in S, pure damage output. Ridiculous. Pure damage output. But if you fight against a Kale that's completely passive, that's when it gets increasingly hard. That's when it gets a little scary. So you really just have to play very, very passive with the Kale. Don't fight unless you have your cooldowns. I know you can say the same thing can be said about a lot of people, but no, it can't. No, it's not the same with a lot of people. With Jube or Oob, you auto attack a lot actually, because when you auto attack with Oob, you're doing extra damage because of your cyclone stacks. So your cyclone stacks is attacking with your auto attack when you build them up with your skill 1. So no, it's not the same with everybody. You don't really need to auto attack with her. I mean, you still want to, obviously, but still, like, you want to space. You want to keep spacing. Probably the most important thing for kill versus anybody else in the game. Any other DPS. She's that fragile. Gammas. I still think they have like one of the highest skill ceiling in the game. I don't think my placement for them has changed at all. I would keep them near the top of A. They're really good. Not the easiest to use though. That is like the biggest issue. Gammas, always gonna be good, I feel, right? They have peel, have damage, very good ult. You get the other gamma back. Downside, one gamma dies, you lose that cooldown, right? Doesn't have the most burst damage, but obviously still a very good unit overall. I would say well above average for him, maybe. I know A is seen as like average, but like being at the top of A, I guess I feel like he's above average for sure. Oh, and another thing with Kale, before I finish the gamma, in high rank, her ult may seem oppressive, but you can easily avoid the ult. If you're trying to 1v1 Kale, knowing that she has her ult is going to be very difficult for you. However, unfortunately with Kale's ult, she auto tracks to the closest enemy. If you run through a full spawn of mobs, you're going to run into farm and then the enemy gets away. So unfortunately, her ult does have a big downside. You can attack tower. You can take objective with it, sure. But the remaining usage of her ult, if they somehow get away. But in a true 1v1, that is her only true defense mechanism, if anything. Literally that, ult. They get too close, ult, if you don't get bursted down. But yes, and I have seen some people kill her through ult too, by the way. But multiple people bursted me down. Her ult, double-edged sword. I think it's more pros than cons with her ult though. Like you can early on easily, if you hit level 5 first, easy ult there if they're still level 4. You can easily take the lane at that point in time, right? Just hope you don't get caught up in farm and auto tracking to them, because that's exactly what it does. The nearest enemy you will track to, Majub. Oob. I put him in A last time. And my placement for Oob, I gave him a fair rating, to be honest. I put him like mid of A. If I go back and check. Yeah, I put him like literally smack. I had these, alternate these 3. I would now comfortably say I would no longer alternate, sorry, not 3, 4. I can comfortably say I will no longer alternate these 4 at all anymore. I'm putting Oob in S. Either same thing with Frieza. Borderline A, bottom of S. I'll put him up here or I'll put him here. I don't think he's bad early game. I think he's okay early. I'm a little slower early. It's a little slower early game. He can still kind of snipe, right? But the main thing about him early game, he at least has peel. And you really should just be farming with the Uber early game, because for one, you get your stacks like that. And 2, late game, he becomes a god. Get that man to 64 stacks. Your cyclone is going crazy like Hurricane Katrina. Bro, you better watch out for this man's ult. That's all I'm going to say. If he's baiting you to come on point and he has his ult, I am so sorry. Late game, I've come to the conclusion, late game, they have an ooh, we need to spread apart. Don't group up. That ult will kill all of us. I've had it happen before, by the way. Ooh, but can be a menace. I will put him in bottom of S. I'll put him in 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 S. 18. I don't know what to do with 18. All I know is I'm putting her in A. She still has her uses. She still has incredible peel, ridiculous peel. I'm pretty sure Axel Dan still has 3 dashes. And another one with dash, does that as well. Or spark something. Her ult, obviously you can single target that onto minions. So you have to really be careful what you lock onto, who you're attacking with the ult. Her burst damage is still insane. Like her burst damage is still kind of crazy, right? If you like 1v1, a lot of times she will probably kill you, depending on who you have. She would definitely kill you. Hard to still get away from her. Not the easiest to catch. So many dashes, as I've said. Even Destructo, this is nice for securing objectives. Overall, even with the 18 nerf, I do think she's still usable. Do I put her over the Gammas? I don't know. I will put her like here, maybe smack dab of A. Last time I put her at the end of A, but still not in B tier. I will still keep her in A. With the nerf, I will put her in A. I do think she's still usable. I think she still does good damage. A tier, perfectly fine. It's a good tier, I feel. It's a good tier. Piccolo, they buffed Piccolo. They buffed Piccolo, they buffed Piccolo, they buffed Piccolo, they buffed Piccolo. He does seem a bit more scarier now, I will say that. Will I put him over Zamasu? Yes. Krillin? Yes. 18? Deborah? Before, for perspective. That's where I hit Piccolo, before the buff. Season 0, first impressions tier list. After the buff. See, I'm thinking about that placement. Piccolo has been very scary too. Like late game can be I do think he is A tier, right? I do think he's better than what he was before. He got buffed, obviously, right? I do think he's good. He has his uses. Obviously, really got sniping, special kind of later on. Late game, 3 charges of it. He can one-shot you. Don't let that man fully charge. Don't get clouds and let that man fully charge the cloud. Regardless, he's good at securing objectives. I can imagine he's pretty good at farming as well, obviously, right? Light grenade, Hellzone grenade can be a little annoying as well. Piccolo's, I do think he's good. I do think he's good. Glad he got a buff. I do see a little more usage of him. Actually, a lot more usage of him, to be honest. But, I will still put him below Deborah, though, if I'm being honest. I do think he is at least usable now. Like, he can actually be used. Yeah, it's kind of hard where I want to place them. But that's where I'll put Piccolo. I mean, bottom of A, it may seem bad, but it's actually not. Bottom of A, I think is good. It's just, when I look at the people ahead of him, it's like, I think that's fair to put Piccolo, right? After the buff. I think he's definitely usable. We only got 4 characters left, by the way. This is crazy. Trunks. I had this man last time, season 0. Tier list. Interchangeable with these 4 people in A rank. Do I think that's true now? No. I feel like there's a bit of a difference now where I want to place him. So I'm actually a little bit surprised at this placement too. I'm not gonna lie. I will put Trunks here. I would put Trunks right there, top of A-ish. I don't mind putting him there. Like most of the people were gonna be in A rank anyway, right? Because everyone on this list I feel is usable at least, right? Until we get to B rank, and I feel like they're a little underwhelming. Would be the word. So the people I put in B rank I feel need the buff, by the way. I think Trunks is good there. Good spot near the top of A. Highest burst damage in the game. Like 1 or 2. I'm pretty sure he's 1, maybe 1 or 2, whatever. Definitely top. Gets a kill, reset, CD, right? His ult is ridiculously big once you get it to max level. Like, it's like the size of the goddamn Titanic, bro. I promise you. And you can angle it however you want, right? Blast somebody this way. Slice. Blast this way, you know? Like, he has that option to move around his ult. A little bit easier to manage versus 18's only single target. Has more burst damage than 18. Doesn't have as much peel, but he's also very, very fragile. I forgot to mention that. He's like thin paper, like Kale. But he has peel compared to Kale. Burning attack's annoying. Hinders vision. Sword thrust, maxed out. Very good range on that. Objective stilling. Trunks overall is a really good DPS, I want to say. I don't want to put him over Majub, but I want to put him close to Oob. It's crazy I say this name 2 different ways, but you know, Goku. I will say this. Goku's not changing. Goku's not moving out of Z tier. Goku just does every damn thing. Peel. Damage. Objective stilling. Damage. Range. Damage. Goku just does everything. I wouldn't put him above Cooler. I will put him next to him. Z tier is really just overtuned. B tier is underwhelming. B tier buff, C tier nerf, some way, shape, or form. Kaioken is good. That speed is crazy once you max it out. And not even the fact that you can empower every other attack, including Spirit Bomb. It is insane. As Dash, the smash hit. Good for pilling, good for engaging, good for damage, good for first hit. I probably wouldn't do that for first hit, use Kamehameha. Kamehameha, stupid, damage, range, everything. Spirit Bomb. Hi. Literally the dog beam, just, I'm cooked. If you're in the middle of that, you better hope the guy, you either have a transformation to iframe it, or you have 18 with 3 dashes and double vanish with the limit breaking form. Like, because late game, if you have to come to a tower and Goku is there with the Spirit Bomb on hand, just know you're going to be waiting out until that blast is gone. That's all I'm saying. Diamond Goku, I gave him the benefit of the doubt last time, right? I put him in A. I thought he was good, can be used some way, shape, or form. I had him in the rotation of, I had him in alternation with like Deborah, Gammas, and Trunks. Like, I feel like those four were interchangeable, situational. Diamond Goku, I do see a bit more the higher I rank up. Not as much as some other DPS in the game. I do think he can be a little more annoying, especially obviously getting first hit with the Pansy Bomb. Just put it in the bush. Or with him being able to blow it up when he does his Power Pole cooldown skill. Or he can knock over the Pansy Bomb and snipe an objective, snipe a kill. I do think overall Daima Goku is not the worst DPS in the game. I do think he's good. I'll put Daima Goku. I do think Daima Goku is good, usable. I wanted to try him out, to be honest, because he has dot as well. His auto range gets higher the longer you do it, so his range will extend naturally because Power Pole, that's how it works. Well, he can extend it at free will in Dragon Ball, but his auto attack range gets higher, I guess, the longer you auto attack, which is good. He has Peel. No. He has, I think he gets movement speed when he's getting attacked. I think he gets like faster or something like that. I will put him around 18. I will put him, I feel like my placement for him hasn't changed. Like, I still think he's good. Yeah, that is my placement for Daima Goku. That's higher than it was before, actually. He's not easy to deal with either, to be honest. Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku, all right? The man, the myth, the legend, the man we've been waiting for. I'm gonna keep real with you, Chief. Before I place this man in any bracket, all I'm gonna say is this. All right, make sure y'all follow me on social media. Make sure y'all sub to the YouTube. Okay, make sure you follow. That includes Twitter. That includes Twitch. This platform too. I want to see a follow right now. Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Ignore that, I was being silly. Super Saiyan 3 Goku just came out. Haven't used them. Laned with them. Laned against them. I think he needs some. He's such a stupid character. The man wipes objective. Instant transmission in general, they need to nerf that mess. They need to nerf that mess. I'm sorry, nerf the range on that, because instant transmission is ridiculous. Kamehameha, ridiculous. I've seen people sweep the map with it farming, bro. What? I do think he's a bit overtuned. He needs some adjustments, as in adjust that instant transmission, sir. The only downside to him, he's locked in place for the Kamehameha. Ways around that. Do it in bush. Kill them before they even get a chance to, you know, reach you. Because you're not going to be laning by yourself with this Goku. You're going to TP. You're going to be TP into someone. You're going to be fighting with somebody else, right? 1v1, different story. 1v1, I feel like he actually loses a lot of 1v1s against Trunks, possibly against 18. Basically, how I view Kale, in a sense, is how I view him. As far as if you engage him, chances are you can kill him. I'm talking, if you have anybody with mobility, you can most likely kill this guy, right? I'm talking 18. Hell, even Majub, Daima Goku, Gammas. I mean, obviously not gonna Kamehameha in front of a Deborah. Early game is probably the worst aspect of that Goku. And him getting ult at level 7. Early game, you need to rush this man in early game. That's all I'm saying. Rush him early game. Rush him early game. Deny him as much farm as possible. You let that man live to see late game, you did it to yourself. That is where I will place Goku, if I'm being honest. I do think he's better than Kale. Neither has Peel. Just as much damage. More range, arguably. Because our skill one can have some crazy range. You just need to combine it and wait for that slow beam and then do it, whatever. That is overall my complete tier list for season 1 of Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra. All right, and by the way, I did get accepted into the Squadra creator program, by the way, so clap it up for you, boy. That is what I think. If I had to make some adjustments, Head and Gohan, I feel, are interchangeable. Vegeta and Cell, I feel like, are interchangeable within this role. Frieza, you can argue borderline S, right? Majub, you can argue borderline A, if I'm being honest. I'm keeping Boo and Bojack down there because I feel they need a buff. That's honestly what I think. Cooler's not moving, by the way. 17 is not moving anymore. And that is honestly what I think for season 1. This is what I had before. First impressions, season 0. Not much experience. This is what I now have in season 1. Far as I'm going with her. That is as far as I'm going with her. That is as far as I'm going with 18. I think that's fine with every other character. Trunks, borderline S tier. Frieza, borderline A. All right. And that is my season 1, part 1, early season 1 tier list. We still gotta wait for Gotenks and Toppo. Gotenks, please be broken. Please, Gotenks, be broken.